John was a man who learned that your true self shows up not when things are good, but when things are hard. That day, he learned this lesson in a very cold way. I remember the loud knock on the door, sharp and angry. When I opened it, my uncle stood there, his face already turned into a sneer. Behind him was my mother, Emily, and my cousins, all of them, a crowd of my own blood. Then the words came out of his mouth like poison. "Give us the money. It belongs to the family, not you." That was the moment I realized family meant nothing. When my grandparents' lawyer first pushed the papers across the polished wood table, my hand shook, not because I was greedy, but because I was shocked. Seattle, $8 million, their property, their house, their legacy or mine. I looked around the office, expecting someone to stand up and fix the mistake, but no one did. The ink was real, the signatures were real, and that's when I felt their eyes stare into me. My mother, Emily, my uncle, my cousins, they weren't happy, they weren't sad. They were planning. By the time we left the lawyer's office, they had already decided what to do. That night, they demanded I sign everything over to them. When I said no, they threw me out like garbage. My own family. No bag, no goodbyes, just the cold street. I walked away with only the house deed in my pocket. My grandparents' house was quiet when I unlocked the door. Every step made a sound. I should have felt safe there, but safety doesn't exist when you know bad people are close by. That night, I sat in their old study, looking at their photos. My grandmother's smile, my grandfather's calm look. They had trusted me, and I knew this is why they saw what the rest of my family had become. And if my family wanted a fight, I would give them one. Getting even doesn't start with anger. It starts with clear thinking. I made calls, first to the lawyer, then to the bank, finally to someone my family would never think of. I spent the hours getting ready, not with guns, but with documents, with signatures, with the kind of protection money can buy when used wisely. By morning, I wasn't just an heir. I was safe from them. They came at noon. Cars drove into the driveway. Doors slammed. The crowd had arrived. I watched from the window as they walked up the path, their faces full of fury, greed, and feeling they deserved it. They thought this house was theirs. They thought I was a kid they could scare. They were wrong. The loud knock shook the door. This time I didn't open it. I made them wait, let the quiet make them nervous. Then slowly I turned the handle and stepped into the sunlight. Beside me he stood, my grandfather's oldest friend, a man my family hadn't seen in years. But they knew him right away. Their faces froze. You see, my grandfather had been many things: a father, a businessman, a leader in the town. But most of all, he had been loyal to his oldest friend, a retired judge, and that judge had come with more than just being there. He had come with signed court orders, legal power, and authority my family could never fight. My uncle tried to talk first. His voice broke. "This is a family thing." The judge's answer was cold. Final. "Not anymore. The property belongs only to your nephew. Any attempt to bother him, come onto his land, or get in the way will cause criminal charges. You have no right here, no power. Leave." The papers in his hand were important, binding, permanent. I didn't have to say a word. I saw the fight go away from their faces. My mother Emily's lips shook as if she wanted to beg, but pride held back her voice. My cousins looked at each other, realizing the game was over before it began. My uncle clenched his hands, but he knew the law wasn't on his side anymore. One by one, they walked back to their cars, beaten, silent, and for the first time in years, I felt the house relax. That night, I sat in my grandfather's study again. The firelight moved. The air was warm. The judge had gone home, but his words stayed with me. "They can't hurt you now. Live your life. Your grandparents wanted this for you." I poured myself a drink of whiskey from my grandfather's cabinet. As the liquid burned my throat, I understood something. Getting even isn't always about destroying someone. Sometimes it's about watching them destroy themselves. My family's greed had caused their downfall long before I picked up a pen. All I did was let them choke on it. I don't miss them. Family doesn't always mean love. What I got wasn't just money. It was freedom. And I plan to use it the way my grandparents wanted. Carefully, quietly, and with respect. But be clear, if my family ever tries to come for me again, I'll be ready. Because the day they threw me out, they taught me the most important lesson of all. Sometimes the only way to keep what's yours is to stop being family and start being tough.